welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another episode of Tech Girl Thursdays. Today I'm here with Nikita, and we are going to be talking about her experiences in the tech world and specifically in data. So thank you so much, Nikita, for joining me today on the Zoom call. Just to start off, to kick things off, can you give me a short intro about yourself, your background, interests, hobbies?
Thanks a lot, Shalini, first of all, for inviting me. And definitely would like to kind of share my experience and would like to tell more people about the data side of my career and to share about some details about it. So, hi everyone, myself Nikita. I have 5+ year of work experience specifically into data side, and I have been working with agencies, especially digital marketing agencies. So I don't know how many of you, the audience there, know about digital marketing agencies. So I started my career with Omnicom Media Group, and then there I started as data analyst, and then from there I moved to WPP Group for a while, where I was working as senior data analyst again. And then like all these agencies and all these experiences were more or less into data analytics side, but the thing is like in agencies we have that upper hand of working with n number of different clients, and we always get an exposure to that. And on top of it, like the focus was different in all these agencies. So for example, in Omnicom my focus was specifically on the programmatic side. Then when I moved to WVP, it shifted from programmatic to the website and mobile application. And then when I moved to TBWA, my focus shifted on like creative side. So the focus kind of varied. So this is where I was, and I was actually working with them in Singapore. So I've recently moved from Singapore to US. And I think in June I started my own side project or a startup called FAANGPath. I'm currently working on it as one of the founders. So kind of it started, and where I'm trying to help people out who are not getting jobs, affected by job scenario, everything due to COVID. So I'm trying to help them with the help of the FANG mentors. And on the same hand, I'm also trying to kind of work on my data skills to learn the new technologies and everything which is coming in the market, because there are new fancy roles which are there in the market, like data product manager, uh, marketing manager. So those kind of things are there because of the everything being virtual. People are looking for more paid marketing people. So this is where I'm kind of right now. But yeah, with a master's degree in analytics and with 5 years of an experience into analytics, my experience has been, and my career journey has been from a software engineer to a proper data analyst. So this is where I'm today.
To start off at the beginning, how did you first get into tech and data?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, I did my bachelor's in computer science in India, and then I worked in India for an year as a business analyst. And from there, I got to know about, like in my 4th year of my undergrad, I did a my major project into computer cloud computing. So there I could actually understand like what exactly the data was, and I was even trying to write a paper on it, and everything was there. So then I came to know that data is something is there, and it's becoming very popular. Every company needs that, and it's becoming like the need of the hour these days. So I was researching, and I got to know that there's a master's course specifically into data analytics, which was in Singapore Management University. So I just researched about it and I applied, and fortunately I got into it. So this is where my data journey started. And like while doing my masters, I did 2 internships, which were the data specific. So one was more on the data science, like where I was working with Seagate as a proper data analyst or data scientist kind of thing, where I did clustering, regression modeling, and all. Then my second internship was with an leading F&B startup in Singapore. That was more on the marketing side. So that is the first time I learned about marketing analytics basically. That is where I came to know that we can use data and how marketing analytics can be used and why it's so important these days. So this is where my journey started. And then when I was applying for jobs after my masters, I randomly applied to Omnicom, like one of the analyst roles, and I got a call and I interviewed and I was able to get a job. So this is where my media journey started, my agency journey started. And from there till today, I've been into different agencies. I've worked with them across different clients, different areas. So this is how my like the whole journey has been.
I guess between India and Singapore and now the US,
Mhm.
what was different about data and data analytics, data science, or what are the similarities and differences that you saw?
In India, like I was not too much, like I was, my work experience was not that much because I just worked for an year. So I can't compare too much of Indian and like Singapore and US part. But in Singapore, definitely data science is always in demand, like too much of demand, like people are looking for a data scientist, they want you to hire because they want a lot of automation and everything. But on the same hand, data analyst is something which every organization needs in terms of to analyze the data, not only for each of the client but internally also. We used to get a lot of ad hoc requests that we have this data, we want to analyze it, we want to know why this is not working, why a campaign is not working, why this is not working. So even like accounts team wanted some data, like a lot of budgeting issues were there, so they wanted to analyze that. And like a lot of people don't know how to use Excel, a lot of people don't know how to write code, a lot of people don't know BI tools, right? So basically they have to come to data team to kind of get hold of it, and they want to kind of extract the right information and then use that to kind of go ahead with their work, go back to the client, say, hey, this is why the things are not working, this is why. So they needed always a data analyst or someone who can come in and help them to solve their problems basically which they were facing. So that is like where I can always see the demand. And in US also, I think there's not like, I think here I can see definitely the data analyst also need to be have little bit of technical side. Like in Singapore it was like not a mandatory, but in US we specifically are targeting like they should know SQL for sure. A lot of people are like always saying that we need you to know SQL, or we need you to know at least one of the Power BI or Tableau or any of the business intelligence tools. So those kind of basic requirements are there on top of like analyzing the data or other things. And especially if you're targeting just marketing side, so they are looking for different like analyzing their budget data or their campaigns data, and on top of it coming up with different KPIs and everything, like analyzing their LTV or their different things and coming up with a solution. So that is what I can see the major difference in, and that is what is required basically.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. So you've mentioned like a lot of different roles, I guess. So there's data science, data analytics, business analytics, and marketing analytics. So what's the difference between all of them? Would you say is the difference just kind of the domain that you're
Mhm.
working in, or are there different skills and technologies involved?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, each title, like it's each title has their own significance and their own value. Like for example, you mentioned about data analyst. It's less technical as compared to data scientist. If you compare it with digital marketing manager, then data analyst and digital marketing are different in terms of digital marketing manager, digital marketing analyst. It kind of just focus on the marketing aspects, like because COVID is there from last like an year or something, so everything is digital and people are running paid marketing ads and everything. So every company, like whether it's a small business or a big organization, they are looking for someone who can handle their paid media marketing, who can put their budget and run their ads, and then on top of it, who someone who can analyze that, keep like bring them the reports, bring the dashboards, build the dashboards, tell them, okay, this campaign which we are running, if we are putting like $100, how well that campaign has performed. So that is something is required in a digital marketing or paid marketing analyst role basically. Whereas in a normal analyst role, it's not specific just to a marketing side, right? Like you don't have to just be focusing on the marketing side. Whereas we have a role, like I mentioned, data product manager or a data product analyst. So that is something focused on product companies. For example, Amazon is looking for a data product manager. So that is like they're launching some new product like Alexa. So they wanted someone to come on board, see the data for it, and then analyze it. So that is what I can see the difference. Like n number of differences are there in all these roles, and we need to understand the what is the difference and how our experience can lie, and if we really want to go into any of these, because they are not 100% different like all these roles, but they need some specific knowledge or specific need which is there attached to each of these roles. So that is where the difference is basically. And data scientist is specifically for people who want to do a lot of AI or lot of machine learning or lot of those technical skills, who want to do modeling, forecasting. So a lot of data science type of things they want to do, and they want to get hold of Python and all. So they should kind of target these roles and they should kind of focus on data science.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot of different roles popping up here and there, and I know a lot of students are sometimes confused about what the difference between all of those are, because it seems like for different companies, um, they each define data science or data analytics in completely different ways
Yep.
too, and the different tools are used for each one. And
Yep.
yeah, overall, it's a very broad field, I'd say, just data in general.
Yep. I mean, that's completely true. And it's difficult to kind of, because as I mentioned, that overall you need to analyze the data at the end of the day, because as a data analyst, that's your job. Like whether it will be using Excel, whether it will be using any coding language, but you need to analyze the data and you need to come up with recommendations and insights and all those things. So that is like the basic. Now on top of it, you have to go through these roles and understand what other things the role is requiring, like what are the requirements, what they need from your profile, whether you want to go into product side, whether you want to go into marketing side, whether you want to go to some other, because there are n number of roles which are like dependent on company requirement. And even to tell you, like consultings like big four or like other management consultings, they are also looking for analysts. And you can even like want to go into a management consulting, but you want to still stay as an analyst, you can still apply for them. So companies like Deloitte, they're hiring data analyst or marketing analyst and everything. So that is where you can see that which industry you want to target, but you still want to be an analyst, you can stay as an analyst, but you can go into any of these companies where you are like into management consulting, talking to client on day-to-day basis, but you're still analyzing the data. So that is something where you can see and you can go through the roles and you can understand and make your profile around that.
In the beginning, as part of your intro, you mentioned um, a whole bunch of different roles and companies that you've worked for. So, would you be able to go more into depth into each one of those, and what type of work did you do, and what problems were you solving?
Yep. So as I mentioned that I was majorly working into media agencies. So media agencies are basically agencies which companies or any brand hires to run their marketing campaigns or any things on their online platform, offline platforms, anything. So for example, McDonald's was one of my clients. So McDonald's hired one of my agency like TBWA to build their all the creatives, like all the ads and everything, because create TBWA is a creative agency. So we had creatives in house. So they used to create everything. So we had someone who used to shot the film like end to end, go to the places. There was a photographer, videographer. They used to take a team. They used to do that planning. And then that campaign, the media agency, TBWA, they used to kind of market it basically. They used to put it on different platforms like on YouTube, on their social media, and put it as a paid marketing. And then we had a social team who used to do that. And then comes my team, which was like analytics team, which used to analyze the data, how well the campaign is doing, how many video views are there, how many clicks are there, how many people landed on it, how many people, if it's like, for example, if they're doing any product launch, so how many people have clicked on their product, how many people purchase their product. So all those analysis used to come to the analytics team. And then we used, like based on the reporting and everything, the data used to go. And then the client used to be happy or sad based on the data, that okay, the campaign is doing good, campaign is not doing good, because they used to spend a lot of money. And in agency's responsibility was to make the campaign success or the creative success, because in the end client is like dependent on the agency to run their or to make their brand famous basically. So every big brands, if you Google or if you research like Singapore Airlines and all, they're hiring these agencies to run their marketing plans and make them famous, build their brand, and reach out to the audience, which they themselves can't do. So they hire these agencies. So that this is what my experience was. But yeah, each agencies are quite specific and they have kind of their own skills or their areas, kind of a thing. So Omnicom is more focused on the programmatic side, whereas Miram is more focused on digital, like they are have their developers in house which build their website, mobile applications, and all. Whereas TPW, as I mentioned, is more focused on the creative side. So they have in-house creatives and everything. So in each agency has their different um, like departments or the areas where they focus, and then based on that, they go into the market. They find their clients and they pitch to them. So I was involved in a lot of pitches also, because data person was involved and required when you go to a pitching. So then if client is okay, the client like I was involved in a Singapore Airlines pitch, and Singapore Airlines is a very big brand, I mean, for at least for Singapore. So we had a contract renewal, and if we lost that client, our like majority of the market will have gone, right? So it was important for us to kind of win that. So that is the most important things which agencies do. They go to their specific clients, they try to kind of tell them that this is what we be doing, this is how we can help you. They show them examples how we can help you, and different campaigns built and everything, and then the client is okay, then we go ahead and help them in the next 5 years, 10 years, depending on the contract, basically.
That sounds really cool. What would you say was like the hardest part about that
Mhm.
whole process? I mean, I'm sure partnering with the client, I mean, I'm sure there's like issues there, but related to the data as well,
Mm.
like finding insights and
Yep.
such, what would you say was kind of the hardest or most complicated part about that?
I mean, the complicated part with some of the clients is generally like a lot of times it used to happen, the clients are not satisfied. They have new requirements coming up, like every month they had something new and they wanted us to like go through it again, rebuild something again, come up with new strategy, or like for example, a campaign is not running well, right? Money has been spent, but still the KPIs are not good enough. So then the client is like, we want to change this, we want to change that. So a lot of those kind of requests used to come, and a lot of, so that is the point where you need to handle like how to deal with the client, how to come up with the right insights for them, and how to satisfy them. Because in the end, if client is not happy, then it will be disadvantage for us, right? So you need to make sure that whatever things you have promised, and if even if now client is going a little bit up, like because obviously in the end clients do that, and it's very normal thing that they kind of put because they are paying us, right? So they can expect anything from us, and it's our duty to kind of cater to them. So we need to make sure that they are happy in the end, and whatever they are required and whatever we have, it's provided to them, and in the end we get a like a great feedback for them. So that is something has always been priority, and this is what you generally do when you are like having a lot of clients and you're always client facing, basically.
I guess looking on a day-to-day basis, what type of work do you do? Like, is it more kind of analyzing the data, or is it more talking with people, talking with the client?
Mhm.
What would you say like the breakdown of like what you do is?
Definitely majority of the time would have been spent on analyzing the data, extracting the data, coming up with the recommendations, and building the dashboards and all these things. But yeah, like I think 10 to 15% of the time would have spent on the client meetings, because every report, whatever I used to make, I used to have client presentations. I used to meet the clients in the client office, go and present it to the client, discuss with them that these are my recommendations, this is what I'm suggesting. So a lot of those kind of presentations and meetings used to happen. So that is something where like it can be a month, like a monthly meeting or weekly meeting or anything, depending on the campaign they are running, the data coming in and the requirement basically. But yeah, before that, you need to have your data analysis, you need to have your report, and you need to have an internal meeting before you go and meet the client to make sure that whatever you present to the client is actually correct. Because a lot of times it has happened that sometimes internally when we used to meet and we used to discuss, then we used to find a lot of other things. So that is where we felt that we need to have a meeting internally first, then we can go ahead and present it to the client, because it's kind of important and necessary to get a feedback internally from like my head of analytics or head of strategy, and discuss with them and then go ahead with it.
What would you say are the most important skills that you've used, and what's the best way to learn them? Did you learn them on the job, or did you learn it through like your master's course or any other courses or resources online?
So it totally dependent on the requirement. Like when I did my first internship with Seagate, they required me to learn jump as like coding language, which was the like the mandatory thing which they needed, because they were using jump tool for their analysis. So that basically that I never learned like when I was doing my masters. I just had like the basic understanding of this tool. So I learned it on the job and everything, and from there I started. Like when I moved to my second internship, they wanted me to go back to SQL, extract their data from database and all those things. So lot of, and when I started with Omnicom, I was not aware of programmatic at all. I learned on the job what is programmatic, and how to get the data and everything, because that was my first like full-time role into data side. So definitely masters has helped me to kind of build the basics, where like in terms of how to use Excel, how to get the data and all those things. But when I started working full time, then only I got a full hand experience how to make good presentations, how to present it in front of the clients, uh, what to talk to them, how to do that. So all those things have, and in each of the roles, I got hands hold of different other tools also, like Sysmos, Crimson, Datorama. So a lot of social media, other tools which were, because again it depends from client to client on their requirement, what tools they wanted to use, because it's their money and they want to kind of spend it like their own wish. So like it totally depends from there. But yeah, on the same hand, I had to learn it like by myself in my free time, because obviously you need to use that tool as soon as possible. You need to get hold of it. So sometimes we used to get trainings from the like Sysmos team. They used to come to our office. They used to tell us that these are the reports, how to use this tool. So we used to get trainings from them. They used to tell us, and then we start using it. So that is where like the things has happened, and this has helped me to learn different things and different technologies.
Would you recommend any resources online for learning some of these things, or
Yep.
um,
So I mean, SQL, like if you're looking definitely for data analyst role in general, you should kind of learn SQL a lot, in terms of at least you know SQL, because that is like one of the mandatory requirement these days for data analyst roles. So I have always like my first resource has always been w3schools.com. That is there. And on top of it, if you are targeting like FAANG companies like Amazon and all, so try to solve lead code questions on Amazon for Amazon type like interviews, and try to kind of solve as many as you can. That is like the basic information which I've got from all the people, in terms of people who are working in the Amazon and all, and who have cracked these business analyst roles, or even marketing analyst roles or something like that. So they say that the first requirement there, like the first round, is actually on SQL. So try to kind of do that and practice, and make sure that you know at least SQL. And on top of it, try to make sure that you have your either Tableau or any other like open source profile. Like if you are proper data scientist, then maybe you can make a GitHub profile or something, show some like projects or Python or something, and put it in your resume or profile. Or you can show your open source dashboards or something using Tableau or Power BI, and you can use that. So that is where I can say that this is there. But yeah, on top of it, if you want, like initially I learned R from Coursera. Like I did that long back when I was doing my masters. So I used to explore, and as a student, we get free aid also from a lot of these online courses that you can show that you are a student, and they just give you the free courses. So you can go using Udemy or Coursera if you don't want to spend any money. So you can use these things. But yeah, I think you can definitely try and uh, use one particular aspect of data analyst or marketing or anything or even data science and learn something or show some certifications or some projects related to it, and that is kind of will help you to improve your profile basically.
I guess kind of moving away from data and tech. So you've worked in different tech roles. So what has your experience been like as a woman in tech?
Women in tech, I mean, definitely, I'm not saying it's wrong, but definitely I've gotten a good response from people in terms of seeing that, because when I started my masters in analytics, the ratio what we had, like women to men's ratio and the girl, that was really low, like in terms of in my master's batch we just had I think 4 or 5 girls who were doing their masters in. So I always get that thing, or not priority, but that thing, like okay, that you are as a woman coming and trying to build a career in analytics or into tech side. So I have always got that, but on the same hand, like in my team, I was the only girl, like always been there in analytics specifically. Other than me, I always like my peers, my juniors were like specifically like boys or guys. So it's always been there. So it's kind of but I've seen the time has changed now. More and more girls are also coming. They're trying to move into tech side and everything. So this is what I have seen, and the changes I have seen in terms of that. And more girls are coming to learn coding or tech side of the things, which is really good to see.
Yeah, there's definitely been a lot more programs popping up that have introduced girls to computer science and all different tech related fields
Yep,
really
that.
early on, which is nice.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice to see, but yeah, I can imagine being the only woman on a team is can get lonely, I suppose.
I mean, I got used to it because that was the thing I had in my teams, like I mentioned from my first company. But yeah, other teams used to have girls, so I used to hang out with them. But yeah, my team, like always, I was the only girl, so that has always been there.
Yeah. Hopefully, I mean, I'm hoping that teams are becoming more diverse now, especially with the introduction of more women. So hopefully changing. So, okay, recently you started FAANGPath.
Yeah.
So I guess could you just talk a little bit about why you wanted to start it, what your inspiration was, what it is too?
So I started it in June this year, and the major reason is like when I moved from Singapore to US, I myself was looking for a job, and when I was looking, I was like using LinkedIn a lot, and I saw that people were losing their jobs because of COVID. They were getting laid off, and then they were struggling to get interview calls, and they were writing posts with the hashtag called open to work. They were changing their profile photos, and all those things were happening. And I was like, I myself never in the past have got a right resources at the one place where I can go and I can find everything related to my job things. And I have always struggled. I've learned myself how to use LinkedIn. I've learned myself what to write in resume. I've learned myself how to approach us like a recruiter on or a hiring manager on LinkedIn, made my connections on my own. So I've never got these things at some place, or I never got a right guidance. So I just thought like, why not start this and help these people and help them to at least get an interview call. So I started this, and I think the name is FAANGPath, but we are not just targeting the FAANG companies. It's like we are making your profile and we are making your resumes to that level that if it can get shortlisted in the FAANG company, that it can be shortlisted in any company. So we are helping you to provide that, and the guidance will be provided by the mentors who are working in the FAANG Plus companies. So the people who are also themselves the hiring managers, they know how and what should be there in your profile, in your resume, why they shortlist you, and they have been in that like role from last at least 5 years. So they know that what are the keywords required, what are the things required in your profile, in your resume, that they shortlist you for an interview call. So, and on the top of it, the major difference what our organization and the, because we are not like the only resume review services is there like in the world, but the major difference is that we provide you the guidance with the relevant mentor. So, for example, you are into data scientist and you come to us, we will connect you or take your resume to our data scientist. We won't send your resume to a software engineering or a product manager. So the relevance is that the data scientist can only tell you, especially that, hey Shalini, this is what is wrong. This is what you can write. This is where you're going wrong. How you can frame your work experience, how you can frame your projects, how you can frame your education. So all those things or feedback is coming from someone who is a data scientist from last 5 years, and they know the things very well. So that is where the difference is coming, and that's what we are trying to achieve. And till now, we have helped more than 250 people. They have successfully got their calls from different companies, and they have came back and they have told that with you guys helping us, we have got that successfully. And a lot of people have even got the offer also from FAANG companies. So we are trying to kind of reach out to more and more people, because today also I can see people are still losing jobs, still unemployment is there, and because of COVID, things are not still normal. So we are trying to kind of do that, and we are trying to reach out to more and more people.
I love that. It's a really, really good initiative. And yeah, I remember seeing the posts back when quarantine and the pandemic hit, but I also still see it now. I think a lot of things are still affected. So I think it's a super innovative and good initiative, and um, the fact that you're providing help to people, and it seems like there's like been a good success rate with it too. So it's, and
Yep.
the fact that you're connecting mentors, I think that's really helpful, because I've definitely seen resume reviews where like me, as like someone interested in data science and data science roles, and they'll like connect me with like software engineer or
Yeah.
something, and it's
Yeah,
like it's similar but not exactly quite the
exactly.
same. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. And that is where we are trying to provide the difference, because when a data scientist see a data scientist profile or resume, they can tell you exactly that this is where you're going wrong, this is where you're going right. So that is the difference which a software engineer can't ever find, because those two roles are kind of similar, because obviously they're technical, but a software engineer can tell you more about a Java, but a data scientist can tell you more about R and Python. So that is the major difference what we are trying to figure out here. And that's why we are bringing in mentors who are data scientists and mentors who are software engineers, so that they can guide you like in different ways and with the right guidance.
As the founder of this, how has your experience been with just starting it up and organizing? And I'm sure in the beginning there's probably a lot of finding mentors and
Yep.
students, and probably still is, but yeah, how has
Yep.
that experience been?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a quite like good learning experience. Like I have never thought that I will be kind of starting it, but on the same hand, I have always enjoyed networking with different people, and I've always helped people in the past. I mean, my friends and friends, like kind of a thing. So I've always helped them, saying that, hey, this is the job opportunity I found, and this is the person hiring, go and reach out to them. So this I have done. And in my university, I was quite famous. People used to say that you can go to Nikita, and she's kind of resource person who has the right resources, and they can tell she can tell you that where the job opportunity is there, what role is hiring, and people used to come and contact me, can you help us provide a referral in this company, can you help us, because I always used to build network, and I always used to know people who are working like in different companies. So that has always been my kind of, I used to enjoy it. So I just thought like I am kind of using those skills, and where I'm still helping out people, and now I'm just like kind of expanding and getting more and more mentors, because I am a data analyst, but I'm not a software engineer, I'm not a product manager, I'm not a data scientist. So I'm bringing in the right people who can provide the right guidance. But yeah, just kind of building that, helping to bridge that gap, and connecting the right people with the right mentees so that they can get directly the right job. So yeah, it's been a great journey, and still like I'm trying to figure out different things in terms of how to do collaborations, how to reach out to more people, what should we do, what are the next steps, how can we make it like in last 6 months or 7 months, I have made possible to make it as a brand. People know FAANGPath. Like I can see a lot of people are reaching out. We have a Discord community. We are kind of having an Instagram, LinkedIn, and everything, and we are trying to expand this and more and more each day. But yeah, I mean things take time and everything, and because of COVID, we can't meet anyone physically. So all those factors are there. But yeah, I mean I'm just trying each day.
Yeah, networking is such an important skill, which is something I've just realized over the past few years. Um, in terms of networking, do you have any
Mhm.
advice or tips on how to network well?
So yeah, I mean, in the past when COVID was not there, like in Singapore, and Singapore is actually a very small country, like it's not big as US, so it's well connected. So I used to kind of send a very good scripted message to people when I was looking for jobs, and it was like kind of a good opportunity for me that I have even met like vice president of Accenture. I've met the partner in KPMG. So I've met people whom I've never thought that I will be able to meet. But because of using the right messaging and sending them the like LinkedIn request and requesting them and all those things. And on top of it, it was just Singapore, but I was using LinkedIn. I was able to kind of get a job in Ireland. And then also I got a job in Australia. So it was like I was trying and building my network, especially using LinkedIn. So my advice to the people outside, like because of COVID, now everything is virtual. So everyone is using LinkedIn day and night. So try to use LinkedIn like very efficiently, and try to reach out to the people. Don't over message them, don't under message them. Take like make sure that your message has the right things in it, your about your profile, why you want to reach out to them. And on top of it, like even if you want to just have more and more, because I started building my networking, LinkedIn networking when I was in India, like when I even not shifted to Singapore. And even in Singapore I started adding people from Australia, from Europe, from US. So that was something which kind of helped me later when I wanted to apply for jobs in Australia, when I wanted to apply for jobs in US. Like already people were there in my network on LinkedIn from different countries. And when I moved to US, I already have people from US whom I was able to reach, and whom I was kind of messaging saying that I have moved to US and I'm looking for a job opportunity. And they kind of helped me um, reach out to their hiring managers or to someone internally if they had some opening. So try to build that and try to add more and more network connections basically, so that it can be helpful for you later basically.
That's good advice. And yeah, everyone's using LinkedIn now because everything's online. So
Yeah.
it's a great resource. With FAANGPath, where do you hope to see it grow over the next few years? Like, what are your goals for it?
I think the goal is like I want to make it, like I mentioned, a place which everyone knows across the globe. If they are looking for any job opportunity, job guidance, or career guidance, they know that FAANGPath is the right place, which has everything end to end, not only resume review, not only LinkedIn part, not only mentorship, but every guidance, whatever we needed related to job, career, or anything, we can go to this particular organization and we can find everything together. So this is what I'm trying to figure out, and this is what I'm my goal is that it becomes like a tool for people or a community for people where they can come and they can seek any help rather than like whether it can be free, paid, or anything. We wanted to kind of bring in more and more mentor so that at one point of time, whoever is coming, they can get as much guidance as we can. They want any referral, we have mentors, they can provide the referrals. If they need any other help, we have the mentors, or we can provide them external mentors. So totally dependent on their requirement, but we want them to come in and get use all the resources whatever we are providing.
I hope it I can definitely see it growing to
Yeah.
become like that, and I'm excited to see how it progresses and grows. It, like, I think already in how many months since June? Like 6 months or
6 months.
something?
Yeah.
6 months. It seems to have grown quite a lot. Like the fact that like you have so many people that you've helped get interviews and jobs is absolutely amazing. So congrats, and hopefully, yeah, I can't wait to see it grow. In terms of your career in life, what are your goals? So we talked about FAANGPath, but just I guess you in general.
To be very frank, I mean, I never thought that I will open FAANGPath. Like this is something we just started like seeing those posts and those things and having a discussion with my co-founder, and it just started. But regarding my goal is definitely like I want to go back to work. Like I also wanted to kind of start working as a full time somewhere, and on the same hand, I want to grow FAANGPath as much as I can and to kind of have balance between both things. And in the end, definitely my goal will be to kind of as a data person to provide the right guidance and the right things to the people outside there, because data is like really valuable, whether it's for startup or any big organization. So that is something really valuable which everyone should understand. And I want like to encourage more and more, especially girls, women outside there, and more people to take up data science or data analyst or those kind of things, so that we can grow in that. And on top of it, as I said, that I keep on learning new things, new technologies, because in data also we have something or the other coming in, right? So I just try to add in that. So this is like what my goal is, at least for next 5 years. But let's see how it goes.
Based on all of your experiences you've had, what advice would you give to anyone who's interested in tech or data?
I think the only advice I can just give that keep yourself motivated. I mean, because times are a bit difficult and everyone knows that, and people are struggling. And like I can myself say that I have been into that positions where things were not easy. And but on the same hand, you need to be keep on trying, keep on doing hard work, keep on learning, keep on applying. Like that's the one thing, because I have talked to people, and like with FAANGPath I have talked to more than like 500 people till today. So when I talk to them, generally people say that, Nikita, we have applied to 50 jobs. We are not getting calls. We are tired. We are this, we are that. So I just tell them that I know that you're telling me you have applied to n number of jobs. You're not getting calls. I mean, the reason is that first of all, you need to focus on the right things. You need to make sure your profile is good, your resume stands out, because the jobs are limited these days. And for each of the job, there are n number of like people who are unemployed, people who have been laid off, people who have graduated. So there are so many people who are applying for the same role. So you need to make sure that your resume, your profile stands out. And on top of it, still you need to go ahead and keep on reaching out to people, keep on doing, keep on cracking interviews. Because in the past I've seen people who get demotivated and they are like, okay, we are not getting jobs, let's like not go ahead, let's not do it. They kind of go into depression or demotivate and all those things. So I'm just saying that I know times are difficult, it's not easy, things are not easy, but just keeps on doing it, keeps on applying, keep on preparing for interviews, keep on doing it. And if you are feeling that you are kind of in the same place again and again, you are still getting rejected or you are not able to crack interviews, reach out to some people. I'm not saying reach out to FAANGPath, but that you can do that for sure. But in general, reach out to your seniors, reach out to someone like your peers only, someone to kind of see what is going wrong, why you are not able to do it. Because I can see a lot of times company don't give you the feedback. People say that we never get any feedback. We don't know where we are lacking, what is wrong. So in that case, try to kind of do some mock interviews, or make your resume go through like some with your friend or someone, so that they can tell you that these are the topics, or these are the things you need to add in, these are the things you need to remove in, or these are the things you need to study. So those kind of guidance you need to have in, because otherwise you will never understand and you will keep on making the same mistake, and again and again you will be in the same position and you are like, I'm still not getting a job. So that is what kind of need to be changed. And I mean, I have been like talking to people who were like very less hopeful, like, or hopeless in the past, in terms of we won't get a job. Or like sometimes I had people who had like uh, gap in their career, or they are doing masters after some time, or they are like, okay, now we want to go back, how we should do. So I just tell them that I know that you were not doing the job, or you had a gap or everything, but just try to kind of see how you can fill that gap, what you can do, like how you can justify, then how you have to prepare for an interview. So sit with someone, talk to someone, take a mentor, like someone who is in Amazon, someone who is in Facebook, or like not only Fang, but someone who is actually into the industry, so that these people can provide you the guidance that today this is what the company is looking for, this is what a data scientist is looking for, this is what a data analyst look for. Now do your preparation, or now prepare yourself like this. So those kind of feedbacks and things are necessary. And that is what I can say. And just keep on applying. And as I mentioned that in case anyone want to talk to me or need any help, I'm happy to give them the right resources and the right guidance. And that's what I'm here.
Thank you so much, Nikita, for joining me on this Zoom call today and for sharing all of your experiences. Everyone, make sure to check out Nikita's LinkedIn to connect with her, and also check out the FAANGPath website to get great advice and tips. I'll leave it in the description below. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me on the Zoom call today.
Thank you, Shalini, again, and thanks everyone for watching this video. I hope you really liked it, and please reach out, and I'm more than happy to help everyone. Thank you.
Thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!